All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Five Plus Football First and Goal podcast. I'm Brent Bodkin, joined as always by my co-host, seven-time FPF All-Star Quaysie Maule. So we have a new format for you today. I mean, the last couple of weeks, first two episodes, we've been kind of just doing, recapping the records and the standings and the upcoming matchups for both teams. So we'll still have a little bit of that for you going forward. But today we want to try something a little different, something to get more engagement. That's what we always like here in FPF, right? Especially on the podcast. We want feedback from the players, from the coaches, from ex-players, from future players, right? I mean, it's pretty cool. Again, we have the Facebook page, we have the Instagram account. So today, Quaysie actually had a great idea. We're going to be talking about our all-stars for the women's 2 division. So we're going to be looking at quarterbacks, receivers, rushers, defenders, corners, safeties, however you want to put it, linebackers, if you will. Throughout women's 2. So again, Quaysie, this is your idea. I'm going to let you hop into it if you want to explain it a little more to the people.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Brent. So basically, how we're gonna how this is gonna work out. So we're just gonna go from women's 2. It's only be players for women's 2. If you play in women's 1 and women's 2, if your main division in women's 2, you're going to be based on women's 2. We know mostly everyone in all our divisions. So if you subbed in for a team in division 1, you're not going to get penalized. For women's 1, you're not going to get penalized or anything like that. If your main team is a division 2 team, then you're going to get considered for that division. So basically how it's going to work is that me and Brent have a list of females that we feel that are all-stars, we feel that are just a bit better than other females that we find. And we're basically gonna have a draft pick. So I'm gonna pick a player, and then he's gonna pick 2 players, and then I'm gonna pick 2 players, and then he's gonna pick 1 player, and we're gonna go down. And we're gonna pick 8 females in total. And then with these females, we're also gonna have something basically that's gonna involve the community of the Instagram, and we'll have like Brent's Division 2 Women's All Stars and Quaysie's with Division 2 All Stars, and then you guys could kind of vote and we could see who has the better all-star team.
So I'm excited. Again, Quaysie pitched the idea to me this past weekend, so I'm excited to do this. Again, so like you said, 8 players on his team, 8 players on that, and on my team. And again, we can't have the same female, right? We can't have the same player on 2 teams, so this is going to be interesting. We purposely did not review our picks to each other beforehand, so in this draft, listen, if he has a player that I want, I'm gonna have to pick somebody else. If I have a player that he wants, he's gonna have to go and pick somebody else. So just like the draft. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. So Ali, so to make this fair, so Ali's our producer, so he could hear us right now. Ali, I want you to do us a favor. Can you get like a coin out of your pocket right now? Could be loony, toonie, anything. Okay, so Quaysie, do you want heads or tails?
Go ahead.
Okay, so you're going heads and going tails. So yeah, Quaysie's heads, I'm tails. So Ali, flip it in the air and let us know what the result is to see who goes first. Tails never fails, baby. Tails never fails. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go first with my first overall pick in the ladies and women's 2 division. Part of me. Usually, you want to go quarterback first, but in fantasy football, you kind of wait a little while. At least I do to pick a quarterback. I'm gonna go with who I think right now is the best receiver on the field, stat wise and everything. So I'm gonna go with Sydney Coët from Valhalla. 21 receptions, 349 yards, 8 TDs. I believe she leads all players in touchdowns, and she's averaging 17 yards a catch, which means she could beat you short and she could beat you deep. So Sydney Coët from Valhalla is my first overall pick.
Yeah, it's a good pick. That's a good pick. So I get 2 picks basically. I'm going to go. One second. I'm going to go with Marie Joelle Vandel. She plays on the Crocs. I played All Stars with her this past All Stars. Amazing player. She's tall. She has great length. She plays defense, offense. She plays also a deep safety also as well. It's hard to get the ball over her head. Right now, she's pretty much leading, or she's one of the top females that are leading in the women's 2. So that's going to be my first pick. And my second pick, I'm going to go with a QB. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So, Brent, I'll just go with your pick again. I'll show it to you. I'll show it with yours.
Yeah, so I got Sydney Coette from Valhalla. Okay, so you're taking Mary Joelle Vandal from Les Crocs. Pretty
Yes,
impressive.
exactly.
11 tackles, 8 INTs, two pick sixes. That's yeah. She's a good player for sure. So it's a solid pick by you.
So it's Cindy.
Yep.
All right, I'm showing it up on the screen so the viewers could see
Yeah.
exactly
No
what these
problem.
females are. One That's the one thing that's a struggle when you're trying to show everything. Why did I get into? I'm in the wrong division. Okay, women's two.
So I'm looking. So while you're doing that, I'm looking at Mary Joelle Vandal. So I gave you her stats on defense and offense. Again, she's a great two-way player. 19 receptions, 274 yards, 6 TDs. She's averaging 14 yards a catch. So again, great two-way player for your squad. Again, member of Lake Crocs and women's too. So again, a solid player there. And I know you said for your second pick, you're picking a quarterback. So a lot of good names to choose from. There's Maya DeFazio, Andrian, Cataret, Athena Ryan, Catherine. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. So Catherine, is that the Schnick or Schenk? Anyways, you can let us know, Catherine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the
Well,
first one. I
yeah.
think it's Catherine Schnick. All right, and Maxime Poirier, a couple other from Linux. So yeah, a lot of different ladies to choose from. So who are you picking as
Yeah.
your
So
quarterback?
for my second pick, I'm gonna go with Maya from the
Damn.
Patriots
Okay. All right.
from Patriots
All right.
decision. Also, straight baller. She's good and she pretty much plays all positions: offense, defense,
Yeah.
snapper, quarterback. I've seen her do it all, so she's a solid player. I see her playing at QB. She's good right now in division
Mm-hmm.
in women's two. She's thrown for 19
Yep.
touchdowns and 4 INTs, and she leads
Yep.
QB. She's number two right now in QB, throwing for 902 yards. So that's gonna be my second pick.
Yeah, Maya's got. Listen, I've known Maya. I've known her. God, since well, I don't want to say she's a kid anymore, but I've known her since she was, I think single digits her age. I'm friends with her dad, Gino. She subbed on my team actually this past fall. She's been helping with my team for a couple of years at commission, and she's an awesome kid. Yeah, like you talked about the stats, right? 19 TDs, 4 INTs, completing nearly 70% of her passes. So that's definitely a solid pick there. I'm gonna go. So I got Sydney Couette with my first pick. I'm gonna pick her quarterback. I'm gonna go for Andrian Cataret. Cataret, pardon me. Her quarterback, 16 TDs, 1 INT. She's been dominant, completing 65% of her passes. She's averaging 14 yards a pass, QBR of 129.1. And Cataret, I'll give her credit. I've seen her play a couple of times over the last few seasons. She hasn't, this is her first season since the spring of 2023, so she took a couple of seasons off, so now she's back. I've seen her play back in the day, great player, and now I'm gonna have her on my team now. And again, the quarterback to wide receiver combo, I think it doesn't get much better than that with Cataret, pardon me, and Cowhite. So a lot of
Yeah, you got.
C's, a lot of E's, a lot of T's. Yeah,
I
there
believe
you
they
go.
play on the same team, right?
Yeah, they both play
Or
on Valhalla.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep.
I just have her up. So you're gonna pick again as well.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Okay, so we both have a quarterback here. Both have a quarterback. So I'm looking now. So there's a lot of names. So this is the hard part. There's a lot of really good two-way players. I do believe in defense wins championships, but you also do have to score, as we saw last night. Defense does win championships. I'm gonna roll with. I don't want to go for third player from Valhalla just yet. I'm gonna roll with the Citadines, pardon me. Morgan LaFall, 30 receptions, 403 yards, 5 TDs. She's a rookie. She's a rookie, but like she's second in receiving yards. Pardon me, third in receiving yards in the division right now. So I mean, yeah, 403 receiving yards. That's pretty impressive. Actually, I'm correcting myself right here. I believe she's actually first in yards. Yeah, 403. So
Yeah,
I think the two top receivers in the division are on my team right now. So I like my chances. So again, Morgan LaFall of the Citadine. There you go.
I have her her picture up if ever you want to see.
There you go. Not a rookie, actually. My bad. My apologies.
She's been she's been playing a bit. Um,
Yeah.
she started playing with On Stick Girls in 2020 winter. So I'm kind of gonna go off a bit from the stats this year, and I'm gonna go with which one's so I'm gonna go with Gigi. She plays on Chaos right now. They only
Oh,
have technically
yeah.
3 games played, but
Mm-hmm.
I play with Gigi now. She's a stud receiver. I've seen her play.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen her play co-ed 2, and literally Sanders. It was his go-to receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen her play women's one. I seen her play women's one whenever Red. Well, their new name is Chaos, but when there used to be Red Nation, I see her
Yeah.
play women's one.
Yeah.
She's a threat. She's probably one of the top females that I feel right now. I feel like if she plays women's one as well, I think she would do fine. I think she would actually do great. She played basketball. She was an amazing basketball player. She ended up
Yep.
actually winning a national title with
Yes, she
McGill.
did.
But
Yep.
she's all around athlete. She could catch, she could play defense, she could rush. She's just all around, and I think it's someone that I would want on my team.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, GG. So that was gonna be my next pick. I'll be honest with you. So kind of took it away from me. GG, phenomenal athlete. Actually, when she won that national championship, I was doing play-by-play for the Marlins that year. So I was proud of her and her team's phenomenal basketball team. And she's made a transition from basketball now to flag football. If you haven't had a chance to watch her play, I know she's playing tonight. I'm scorekeeping tonight at Saint Laurent. Usually she scorekeeps with me, but she's not working tonight because she has a game. I'm not sure where she's playing, but if you have a chance, go watch her play. Like you said, she plays co-ed now. She's great, great teammate, great player. She makes an impact on both sides of the ball. I think one if not the fastest, one of the fastest players, and not just in women's too, but in all of FPF. Great hands and great for someone that grew up playing basketball. I mean, sometimes the transition is easy, sometimes it's not. But for someone who has a limited football background, she kind of picked it up and she's been like she hit the ground running. So yeah, great pickup by you. Great draft pick by you.
Thanks. And I think
Okay.
I get to pick another one too, right? Or is it? I have three. I have it. I have three right now. So you picked first.
Yeah, I got three as well.
You got three. So is it my pick or your pick now? I'm kind of confused with the ladder. I picked. No, you picked, and I picked two, and you picked two, so I get to pick two, right?
I don't know. I'm not even sure why you were
Like,
deciding to pick two. It kind of puzzled me a bit, but I was like, all right.
oh, okay. So I have three. Okay, now you go. You go next.
Okay. Oh man, it's good times. Okay, so I'm gonna roll with I'm gonna take a veteran, solid defender, solid receiver. I was her teammate. I think one of her first years in co-ed. I'm talking about from Les ETS Turgeon, my bad. Erica Dubois. So an FPF veteran,
Okay.
good receiver, 294 yards, 7 TDs. She's averaging 18 yards a catch, which is first in women's too. As a defender as well, she's not too shabby as a defender. She knows where to be. Like obviously her brother's Alexi, and Alexi's a veteran player. A lot of people know him, but a lot of people know his sister as well. She's not just Alexi's sister. Like I could tell you, having played with Erica before, super smart player. Again, she knows where to be on the field. She has great hands, and again, as I talked about, right, as a receiver, I went over her stats already. Again, 7 touchdowns, averaging 18 yards, a grab. Looking at it here, right? She plays co-ed too, right? So I mean, she definitely knows what she's doing. I'm just looking, trying to get her defensive stats right here. Yeah, so 15 tackles, 3 INTs, 2 pass deflections. So again, she's getting her hands on the ball on both sides of the field. So that's my addition, Erica Dubois.
Okay. Nice pick. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Rochelle Shea.
Ah, okay,
She
yep,
right now she plays on Hebo 3.
yep.
She right now she leads. She's actually usually a player that plays in women's one as well. She plays in, but I think she's a coach. I think right now what she's playing with Hebo 3. I think she coaches. I think she's basically coaching them. I think she's kind of just since they have 3 teams. I kind of think she's just kind of helping out.
Mm-hmm.
But she's on the team right now. She leads she leads in interceptions. She has 8 right
Right.
now. She's a solid player. I've seen her play a lot of times, and big, huge defender, and yeah.
Okay, nice. Yep, that's a solid addition. That's a solid draft pick. Okay, okay. Who do I have next? So I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick with defense here. I'm gonna roll. So this player, she's played actually both sides of the ball. Sticking with ETS actually, I was looking at her stats and it kind of blew me away a little bit. So I'll start with her. I'll give you the name in a second, but her.
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, okay. No worries. Okay, so technical issue there. No worries. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with ETS again. 10 tackles, 3 INTs, 5 pass deflections, and 4 sacks. So I'm gonna put this female as a rusher, but she could play rusher, she could play receiver, she could play DB as well. I'm going with Liliana Palma Espinosa. So again, I've seen her play once. I saw ETS I think 2 weeks ago, Saint Laurent, Simon Dagenet's team. I was watching their field, their game while I was scorekeeping the other field. So I wasn't able to get like a direct look at her all the time. But when I turned around and saw a couple plays here, a couple plays there, she was making an impact. So again, Liliana Palma Espinosa from Les ETS Turgeon. A great player. She has a lot of speed, and obviously her hands are around the ball a lot. Again, like I said, 3 INTs, 4 sacks, 5 pass deflections. She could play anywhere on my defense. It's fine.
Okay, I believe ETS is also a new team, right? I think it's their first year
Yeah,
playing flag. I know
yeah,
FPF it's the first year playing flag. I'm not sure if it's the first year playing in general, but I think it's their first year. It's the first time
yeah.
I
Again, I
like. I
know they
know the
have like
school. I
again.
just
Yeah. It's right downtown there. Again, they have a couple of veterans like an Erica Dubois, but I mean, yeah, I think as a team, it's their first team. I'm actually surprised that it's their first year in FPF, just because that's a school. They have a volleyball team. They have a couple other teams. I think rugby as well. It's a pretty athletic school for a school that's based on technology, but it's a pretty athletic school.
yeah, but it's kind of like McGill too, right? McGill's their first year
It's true.
coming with a team, and they have
Hey,
volleyball,
well, well,
basketball.
yeah.
So I mean, it's
That's
kind
true.
of
That's true.
as we said before. I know a lot of teams are starting to come. A lot of teams are starting to play flag, right? So they're trying to get their women's
Yeah,
involved too. I think
yeah.
kind of makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. But yeah.
I mean, it's the popularity of
Um,
the game. The popularity of flag is getting bigger and bigger by the day. So yeah, it makes sense. More schools and more people are catching on. A little late, but I mean, better than never, right? Better late than never.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my next pick, I'm taking Rochelle Valier. Valier.
Yep. Okay. Nice.
She's also a player on Chaos.
Yep.
She's usually this year her stats doesn't really show how good she is. But she's usually I believe she's been an all star every single season she's played. I think she's been an all star every single time. She has a championship. She's a great defender. She actually calls her
Yeah.
defense. She always knows where to go.
Mhm.
She has amazing hands. She doesn't even wear gloves too, which is kind of crazy. A lot of people when they don't wear
Yeah.
gloves,
Yeah.
you find it kind of weird. But she's a player that she doesn't wear gloves, so because I always tell her if
Right.
she wears gloves, you can't even imagine the amount of catches that she can actually get when she does have gloves on.
Right. Right.
But again, her stats don't show how good she is right now. They're only in week 3, so their team is kind of getting a groove. But if I had to literally, if I have to have an all star team, she has to be on it.
No, that's fair. Listen, Michelle, she's great people. Like, obviously, you know her. I know her as well. Solid people and solid addition. I remember I was watching you. You had a co-ed game a few weeks ago in at the Singer Dome, and I saw Kevin Wyatt just throw a fastball to her. I think she dropped it the first time, but she didn't make that mistake later in the game. And yeah, great hands and a great person. So definitely a team player and knows what it takes to win. You mentioned 4-time All Star. So yeah, definitely having her on your team. That was gonna be one of my next picks. I had her lined up. I had her lined up as a pick, but all right, you got her. You got her. Okay. So I'm gonna stay then within I guess the FPF family now. I've been playing for a long time and like I've been part of the league for a long time. And this next person who I'm going to mention was I was thinking about earlier today. I'm like, has she been a scorekeeper? I'm like, I don't know. I actually know what? I answered my own question. She scorekept my playoff game last year at what's that far field? This is in far fields now. It's at the school there.
Oh, I know what you're going with.
Mary Victorien. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. At least for me, Mary Victorien is like another world. It's super far away. But okay, yeah. So, anyways, with she scored kept I think last year in the fall season is what I'm trying to say with Maule on Wednesdays. So I'm gonna go with Lori Willette.
Yeah.
Lori's awesome person. Like we talked about Rochelle. Lori, same thing. Awesome person. You want her on your team. She's fast. She's smart. She knows how to play both sides of the ball. You put her anywhere on the field, she'll make a play for you. You put her at snap. You put her at safety. You put her at corner. You put her at slot. You put her at wide. She'll make a play. Again, great team player. And she's a leader too. She plays co-ed as well now, so which is fantastic. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Lori Willette again. I'm a little heavy on the Valhalla ladies, but I mean, with Lori is rightfully so. Fantastic player, and she's a person you want on your team like from day one.
Yeah, for sure. I've watched Lori play for the last couple seasons, and she's just getting better and better. Like
Yeah,
when she first started, I thought she was good, but now she's really good. Um, as I
yeah,
said, like every single season I see her because I also play co-ed, so I we play against her a couple times
yeah.
in the year, or at least once, and sometimes in the playoffs, and she always makes plays, and she's always impressing. She always impresses me how good she's getting.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. She has like 11 receptions, only 137 yards, but she has four TDs. Mind you, four TDs, and she's only played two games. Her team has played three. She's only played two of them. She has four TDs in two games. On defense, again in two games, she has three tackles, one INT, and a pick six. So that's pretty good for only two games, right? So small
Yeah,
sample size, but again, that's the impact that Laurie makes on your team. Phenomenal person, phenomenal player.
good pick. She actually was on my list too, so um, sucks that I don't get to get her, but it is what it is. Okay, so it's my pick next. I'm actually gonna go with a rusher.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a rusher. I've seen her play every time I score keep. She's a rusher. She plays on Wolfpack.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Um,
I know who you're talking about.
she plays on Wolfpack. Her name is Jade
Yep.
Sean Moreau. I
Moreau.
want to
Yep.
say.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly who it
So
is.
she's
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with her. She's fast.
Hmm.
She's a rusher that kind of gets in the way. She doesn't miss a lot of sacks. I haven't seen her really miss a lot of sacks. When she gets there, she kind of gets the sacks. Right now for women's two, she's leading in sacks with five. She has 3 games played, and I believe Wolfpack has games Wolfpack have. I think they have five. No, I think they have 3 games played. No, they have 4 games played. So she missed one game. So she has
Hmm.
5 sacks. I mean, she could have maybe had seven, six. She missed one game,
Yeah.
but she's a solid. It's 7 o'clock. She's a solid player when she's rushing, and I feel like whenever if you have if there's a mobile quarterback that kind of likes to toss, like kind of go left and right, she's able to kind of
Yeah.
stop those mechanics and get those sacks when her team needs it. So I think she would be a great add-on for my team.
No, 100%. 100%. And you know what you get with her too is I don't know if you so when you've seen her play, have you heard her howl?
Yes, I've heard the
Yeah.
team howl. I've heard the team howl. I
She
haven't
started
heard
that.
her.
She started that 2 years ago. 2 years ago, that it was only her at first, and then her teams kind of jumped onto it. Every time I see her, like I kind of howl a little bit. Sometimes she gives me like a weird look, like what are you doing? And I'm like, hey, whatever. It's funny. It makes me laugh.
Try to
Yeah,
be
I think
part of the
so she told me her and one of her teammates corrected me. I thought they got it after every sack, but I think they howl or she howls mostly after every touchdown, which is like hilarious to me. So it's awesome. And
yeah.
like the Wolfpack actually are a team they're improving as a whole, right? Like I mean, I remember watching them. I used to scorekeep at Concordia Sunday nights. So 2 years ago, yeah, it was 2 years ago. And I remember seeing them. They had some talented players, but they were really kind of finding their footing in FPF. And now, again, they're a pretty solid team. And like I said, Jade Shen Moreau, 5 sacks in only 3 games. That is pretty impressive, along with the howling too. Okay, so you have her. So I'm gonna go with the leading tackler in this division because I mean INTs are great, and you need INTs. I mean pass deflections are great, but one of the things I think gets overlooked in flag because it's not tackle football, right? But tackling is important. So it doesn't matter. You can have the greatest coverage in the world, but if you let a pass come your way, get completed to the receiver that's next to you, if you can't tackle him or her, it's not going to matter that much, right? You kind of just a pylon at that point. So I'm going to go with Linux, and I'm going to go with Mael Rousseau. 29 tackles. Again, I believe she leads the women's two division. Two INTs, three pass deflections. Again, I was really impressed with the 29 tackles. I mean, that means maybe her defense isn't getting out the field as much, but again, when she's on there, she's getting the tackle made. So I think that's someone I like
Hmm.
to have on my team.
Okay, good pick. I'm gonna go back to Wolfpack actually. I'm gonna take Machiel uh, uh,
Yep.
Paradis.
Yeah, that was my
She's
next pick.
also sorry.
That was my next pick, to be honest with you. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So again with the Wolfpack, I've watched the Wolfpack for a couple, I think, for the last couple seasons now, and she's one of the players that I kind of see that she's kind of evolving. She's getting better every single season. She's a good
Yeah.
defender. She's a great receiver. Right now, she has 7 INTs in women's two. I think that she leads number two in INTs. She's actually tied with yeah, she's number two. She's tied in second place. So again, great defender, and she knows how to get interceptions. So she'd be great. She'd great add on to the defense.
Okay, cool. All right, so I have one, two, three, four, five, six. I have 7 players right now. So we said we're going with 8. You have 7 as well, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, just to make sure. Okay, so looking at my last player, so again, I have my quarterback, I have my rusher. Like I said, I'm using Liliana Palma Espinosa as my rusher, which is why I didn't go with Jade. Shout out, special shout out to Phoebe. Phoebe Gervais, Leo's daughter. Phoebe's awesome. I've known her since she was a little kid. She's super dope. 4 sacks for her team, the Cheetahs. She almost made my team. She almost made my team. Uh, I am though gonna go with. I was torn now. Do I go with the offense? I mean, I think I have a lot of offense with Coette and LaFall. I'm gonna say Erica Dubois could play some offense. Lori, and she could play both sides. But I'm gonna stick because you took parity from me. I'm gonna go for another ball hawk then in this division. I'm going to go with Rachel Shea from Hebrew 3.
No, that's who I took.
Oh, you took it already? Okay, my bad. Oh, shoot,
Yeah.
my bad. My bad. Okay, yeah, my fault. Of course, I knew that. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Okay, from the Saint Laurent Pats then. From the Saint Laurent Pats, another ball hawk. Here we go. So Leticia and Galu, 6 tackles, 5 INTs, 1 pick 6, and 2 pass deflections. So yeah, Leticia and Galu. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing your name right. If I'm butchering it, I apologize. Feel free to come on the social media and let us know. Yeah, so that's going to be my final pick again from the Saint Laurent Patriots. I think it's a solid pick again as a defender. She's solid. And yeah, that's who I'm going to go because again, I think defense wins championships. So that's who I'm choosing for my squad, my 8th and final player.
Yeah, she's a great defender. I've watched her play for the CJ Patriots because AJ's the head coach over there.
Yep. Yep.
Great defender actually. Um, yeah, she's good. That's a good pick from you. I believe I have one more pick. I think I only have because you started, and I think I have to end in that case. So I believe I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
one
Exactly.
more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm
You
gonna
do.
go with I'm gonna go back with the Crocs, and I'm gonna
Okay.
go with um, sorry, where did she pronounce it? I'm gonna go with Corel Leduc. She plays on the Crocs.
Okay.
She also plays with. Actually, I'll bring her up here. Oh, wait, wrong one. Yeah, so she's just brought up on the screen. She
Okay. Yep.
plays
For the
women's. Yeah, she plays women two. She also plays co-ed one and co-ed two. She's a solid
Yep.
receiver. She's also a good defender too. She plays both ways. I've seen her make some good tackles. I've seen her make some good catches. When we actually played them week one for my co-ed team, she made a good couple catches, made a good couple tackles. So she's a solid player. So yeah, that's my last pick.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So if we recap the roster, I'll give you my roster again. So my quarterback is Andrian Carteret. from Valhalla. My first overall pick is Sydney Couette, also from Valhalla. I got Morgane Lefort from the Citadin, Erica Dubois from ETS Turgeon. Her teammate is my rusher, Liliana Palma Espinoza, again from ETS Turgeon. I have Lori Willette, homegirl Lori from Valhalla. From Les Lynette, I have Mayel Rousseau. And from the Pats, I have Letitia Ngalu for my squad.
Okay. Who's your snapper? I'm just curious. I was
Lori,
thinking of. Sorry.
Lori, Lori,
Oh, Lori. Yeah, Lori's a
Lori
snapper.
snaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me one
Could be
second.
Lori, could even be Erica. I've seen Erica Dubois snap a lot too.
Yeah,
So I mean,
Erica's
either or.
Erica snap too.
Yeah. Who's your snapper?
See, I don't know. I don't I don't actually know. I don't have a snapper to be honest with you. I know Rochelle can snap,
Ooh.
so
Yeah.
I don't have a snapper. I don't have a secured snapper right now.
Ooh. See, that's big now. That's big. We've seen right when it's a bad snap that messes up the whole offense.
Yeah, it is. But I'm pretty sure one of these girls can snap. I've seen Rochelle snap too. So I mean, at that point, I might just be like, you got to do what you got to do.
You could cue to like a gazillion teams, especially in Division 6B, 6A. Yeah, somebody will snap. We'll figure it out. And the ball
Yeah, yeah,
going off everybody's
exactly.
head, or it's a one hopper or five hopper off the turf to the quarterback. It's good times. I'm liking my team chances even more in a hypothetical fantasy game. Nice. All right.
I actually snapped for Division 5v5 and it did not go well. I had a lot of complaints from Dan Lazara. He
Well,
was
there
not
you go. Exactly. Exactly. All right.
he was not the happiest person. So on my team, I have Gigi from Chaos.
Yep.
I
Yep.
have Rochelle from Chaos as well. I have Maya from the Patriots. I
Mm-hmm.
have Corley from the Crocs. I
Yep.
have Mackie Joel from the Crocs as well, and then I have Jade as my rusher from Wolfpack. And then I have my last pick. I have also from Wolfpack. I have where did she go?
Oh, parody. Looking at her name right here. It is Marielle Parody.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what we want
So
you guys, sorry, what we want you guys to do at home, right? Obviously, so we gave our list, so we both have 8 players each. Um, Actually, hold on, looking at it here. Hold on, let's see here. One, two, three, four, five, six. For some reason, I'm thinking you only have 7 players. I could be wrong. You have Maya, Mary Joelle, Gigi, Rochelle, Coralie, Jade, and Marielle.
that's seven.
That's 7. Yeah.
What did I miss? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. All right, so I guess maybe I'll have a 7 women's roster.
Yeah.
And you have 8. You said.
Yeah, I have 8 actually. Yeah, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, neither of us is a mathematician. Yeah, so I have 8 players. So yeah, you have 7. So yeah, you need one more.
Okay. Well, now I kind of closed my browser thing, so I'm gonna have to look at. Not here.
I can give you somebody if you want. Like I have my list in front of me.
It's okay. I'll take Give me literally 1 second. I'm surprised. I thought I had more. I thought I had 8, but I guess
I thought you had 8 as well. I'm not gonna lie to you. Mine tries
maybe
separating
on
on
the
your
when I was
roster half.
trying to do the 2 picks thing, I kind of made a mistake there. So I'm gonna go with. Uh, oh no! Did I say Marie Joel from
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, no, yeah, I have her here. Yeah, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. One, two, four, seven. One, two, three. Yeah, I have 8 and you have 7. Yeah, again, you have
Oh,
Maya DeFazio, Mary Joelle Vandel, Gigi, Rochelle, Coralie, Leduc, Jade Shem Moreau, and Marielle Paradis. That's 7.
okay, that's not good.
Oh, you said okay, you have Rachel Shea, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the person we'll both forget. Okay, so yeah, you have 8. My bad. You have 8. You're right. You just when I went to pick her, you said you had her already. Okay, so you have 8. My apologies. Okay, cool. I just didn't write that one down.
okay, so
Yeah, from
I'm
Hebrew
not
3.
crazy then.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
exactly.
right.
Because well,
So
I
yeah,
have yeah, there's two. Yeah, there's two. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
okay, cool.
there you go.
All
I'm not that bad at math. Okay, so
right.
basically, for the viewers, how it's gonna work is that we're pretty much gonna post our team on the Instagram page, and it's gonna be Quayse's All Stars, Brent All Stars, and you guys are pretty much gonna vote and see who do you guys think would win a game in 5. Like, who do you guys think would win between both these teams? And then we'll see the votes, and we'll see who's a better team captain on choosing choosing All Star team.
Yeah, that's exactly it. This is fun. This is fun. It took us about a half an hour to get all the picks in. Again, I'm bad at math, I guess. Yeah, so we have 8 players each. So again, we have a QB, we have receivers. So what we wanted to do is like you can differentiate. Some people could play defense and offense. Some people just play offense. Some people just play defense. That's kind of up to subjective, basically. Again, you have a rusher. I have a rusher. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see. How people vote and why people vote in certain ways. Again, I like my team a lot. I like your team too, but I like my team a little bit more. Again, I think the Valhalla connection, especially on offense, might give me that late W in the fantasy game. But again, you got some playmakers too, especially Gigi and Rochelle, obviously playing on chaos. Quick story, actually, I had a chance to talk to Lamise Ajundi, ref and player. He's kind of a co-captain for Chaos, as well as Emma Thompson Aslan, who plays with you in co-ed. I asked him this week why they changed the name from Renation, right? Obviously, they're a bunch of former Vanier players. So I asked Lamise and Emma why they changed to Chaos. So two things. First off, the jerseys that they have, I think the Chaos jerseys are fresh. Emma actually designed those jerseys. So as I told her on the field when I saw her on Wednesday, great job because the jerseys are fresh. And
Yeah,
the main reason why like they said they changed the name is because like there's not many, as they said it themselves, there's not many OGs that play like for Red Nation, or not many from like the original Red Nation crew, right? That started off in FPF. I mean, I think all of them for the most part have played for Vanier at one point or another and have coached at Vanier as well. But Lamise and Emma were like, yeah, they took a team vote, and right away everyone's decided, yeah, let's change the name. So they're going with Chaos. Again, they've only had 3 games. They're 1-2. They got a big W actually this past week. I'm trying to find who they beat. They beat the ETS Turgeon 28-13 Saturday in Brissard. I don't know if you had a chance to score keep that game, but a big W for Chaos. So congrats to those ladies on getting the W. And again, new name, new era, if you will, for formerly Red Nation. Again, now known as Chaos.
yeah. And then now they got their first win as representing that team name, so that's also
Mhm.
something new to see. I didn't score keep that game. It was on the far end,
Okay,
but
okay.
it's good for them for they finally got that first W, get the monkey off
Yeah,
the back, and kind of
yeah,
just start rolling down and trying to get those W's on the rest of the season.
yeah, yeah. Looking at there's like 5 games tonight going on in women's too. So a lot of action. We're filming this on a Monday. It should be up, I think, by tomorrow, Wednesday latest. But we're Monday right now. So yeah, you have the hard hitters and ex cons. The San Laurent Pats against Hebrew 2, Valhalla against the Cavaliers, Spartiats against the Aces, and the Wolfpack against the Crocs. I'm actually really interested in that last one, the Wolfpack against the
Yeah,
Crocs.
a lot
Yeah,
of
it
a
should be a
lot of a
really good
lot of
game.
yeah, a lot of games that are gonna kind of screw up the. Well, it depends on the wins and the losses, but it could kind of
Yeah,
mess up the rankings and stuff. The coming down to the next week.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. So next
So
time we're gonna do women's one, but we'll have that for you, I guess, in the next episode. So we'll
yeah,
have our all stars for women's one. I already kind of made a list. I made a hypothetical list. I'm not gonna share any names with you. I don't wanna give you any help, any pointers here, but I'm excited for women's one just like I was for women's two again. And like I said, this is a really great idea. And again, like we said, we want you guys at home to get in there, get on Facebook, get on Instagram, let us know what you feel, make your picks, or you know what, even submit an all star team of your own, right? you have the players that Quaysie and I have. So pick your own all star team with all those players and see how they match up against his, see how they match up against mine, and yeah, let's have some fun with this. So okay, so let's jump in now to the rest of the divisions here quickly.
Yeah.
Which
So
division
so,
you want to start with?
so we're gonna be going down to week 6 because I think we already talked
Yep.
about week 5 from
Yeah.
last week, right? So week 6, it's there's not a lot to happen. So week 6 we have the Stables versus Panthers. The Panthers lost for the Panthers lost 42-30. So it's another loss to the Panthers. Good
Hmm.
win for the Stables. They moved to 2-3 right now, and the Panthers I believe are 3-2. So it's a big win for them, and that's pretty much the only game that happened for Division 6B for this week, the week that just passed.
That was Sunday yesterday at the Shadagia. I had a chance to score keep. I did two Division 6 games this past Wednesday. I did a Cafe 67 against passing TDs. Not a high scoring game, passing TDs with the 14-6 win. And then I did Minutemen against Nard Dogs. So this is the thing I like about Division 6. There's always one or two players on random teams who are like, again, like we said all along, right? Just playing with your friends. And it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be playing in such a low division. Like you're way too good to be doing that. There's a guy for the Minutemen. His name is Elliot. I don't know if it's Raymer or Remier. I guess it's Remier because his accent's on Elliot. So Elliot Remier. The man had 3 picks and 3 pass deflections. He was on fire in that game. He could have had about 6 or 7 picks. He was just as soon as the ball went up, he was his awareness, his vision was great. He was just rolling over to where the quarterback was throwing. Some of the throws were a little late, but still you have to have the wheels to get there and make a play on the ball. And he did it. Like I said, 3 picks and 3 pass deflections. He had 2 catches for 17 yards as a receiver. So again, Elliot Ramier from Minutemen, definitely a player that caught my attention
Mm-hmm.
this past Wednesday
Yeah,
in LFL.
who knows? Those PDs could have been interceptions. So instead of having 3, maybe you could have 5.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, at least two of them were drops. Yeah, at least two of them should have been picked off. Again, if 3 picks is nothing to spit at, 3 picks is impressive, but could have been
Yeah,
probably at least 5 or 6.
that I think that would be
Yeah,
like
I
a
mean,
record.
yeah, that is. Yeah, it's interesting to see what the record would be. We got to find out. I know we were even asking a couple weeks ago about the sack record in a game. Again, every division has at least one dominant rusher, right? From Division 1 all the way up to like Co-ed 3, Women's 2, or 5v5, whatever the case may be. So we're gonna get to you on that. Again, I said I scored kept the Cafe 67 against passing TD's game. It's a bit of a rough game to watch. Both teams gave a lot of effort. I'll give them that. A little bit of chirping, but a lot of effort. Cafe 67 they struggled offensively. Dario Vincelli 6 for 24, 68 yards, 6 INTs. The other side wasn't much better at passing TDs. Nicolas Laving and Christian Toddiff. Toddiff was great running the ball, just passing. He struggled a little bit. In that game in total, there were 10 interceptions thrown between 3 different quarterbacks.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't the prettiest game to watch, but there was a couple of big plays. There was a pick six. Mike Topalian of Cafe 67, he got the only points of the game via pick six. Christian Tardif, he caught a touchdown pass. Alex Boys, he was solid too. He caught a touchdown pass. So it's kind of one of those things where like the team would advance the ball a little bit and get some momentum, and then it'd be an INT, or there'd
Mm,
be like an INT, and then the other team would throw the ball right back to the other side. So it's one of those games. But again, 14-6 win for passing TDs. All the W's count, no matter how beautiful or how ugly they are. So a win's a win.
that's I feel like that's kind of standard though. Especially for 6B, like you drive on the field and you have I
Right.
think the hardest problem is when you're in the red zone, right? Because you don't have that much
Yeah.
space where you can have a guy that kind of catches a hook and then he breaks out for a touchdown. Compared to like when you get into that red zone and you have like 5-7 yards, it's like it makes everything so much tighter. So you don't have those luxury of a guy kind of coming across. If you end up missing that cross
Yeah.
pass and being a drag, ends up just being a pick. So,
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yeah, guys,
all right.
it all comes down to timing, right? Timing and chemistry, and that we're at
Yeah.
the midway point of the season. Those things should be getting better for certain teams, but again, some teams it happens a little faster than others. So again, this is why you get onto the field and you play the game, and if you can, try to get a couple practices in as well.
Mhm. All right. So let's go to Division 6A. As I said before, there hasn't. I believe we talked about the games that happened last week or week 5. I have a feeling we did. I might be
Yeah, looking
crazy.
at it here.
Because right now there's only one game
Uh,
that played on the Saturday, and that's
yeah,
the February 8th. You have Bum City versus Team V. So I think the rest of the games we talked about.
yeah. We talked about McGill Swim Team and Creamsicles. I had a chance to watch that game last Monday. Yeah, so yeah, all these games happened Monday or
Yeah,
last
exactly.
Monday.
So
Yeah,
it'd be week 6 since we're early on. Usually we do this podcast on the Wednesday, right, or sometimes the
yeah,
Thursday.
yeah,
So most of the games already happened, but because we're doing it earlier on, there's only like as we say for Division 6A, there's only Bum City versus Team V that play,
yeah.
and I score kept that game. And
Okay.
Bum City is actually not a bad team. They just can't finish. They do the quarterback throws. I'm gonna upload the stats. The quarterback throws sometimes balls that he shouldn't be throwing. But again,
Right. Right.
it's Division 6, right? You kind of get used to it, and his play
Yeah.
calling it's not the best, and there's a lot of times where he kind of just he does drags, but there's no there's no chemistry yet with a lot of his players. So it's kind of like, oh, do a drag, he kind of overthrows it, or he kind of throws it to the floor. So like in the stat wise, he went 7 for 28 for 73 yards and two ints. So a lot of the throws that he had is just he was off target or just kind of it was overthrown, and it came to a lot of point where they kind of went for it too. It was like fourth and like 10, and they would be going for it, right? So to give the ball back to the other team in their red zone or close to the red zone, they would just
Yeah.
score
Yeah. Yeah.
plays. So I got to score that team, but their team's really not bad. They just have to kind of fix up their offense a bit, maybe have a bit more easier play calling, like trips left, trips right, slants left, slants right, kind of just catch and just throw it, you know. And also you could do is that you could have kind of two receivers close to each other. So if you kind of miss one, maybe you got the other one. Like that would help his completion.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I scored.
Looking ahead to this week. I mean, there's two games tonight. It's Vengeance against Gold Rush and Chomedy Chose against the Creamsicles. Looking forward though to Wednesday. One match of the hops out or sorry that jumps out to me is the Swiffer Wet Jets against the LVL Jack Boys. The Jack Boys are at 4-1. Swiffer Wet Jets are at 2-1. So again, two teams with only one loss in the regular season so far. That should be a good one. That's going to be taking place Wednesday at Statty Bear. Also at Wednesday at Statty Bear, Scumbags and Red Zone Buzz. We talked about Red Zone Buzz in one of the first podcast episodes we did. It's an athletic team. A lot of guys that can get deep, so I'm going to be interested to see how those games go. Chomedy Chodes 4-0. They're looking to go 5-0, obviously, tonight. That at the start
Yeah.
of soccer against the Creamsicles.
Yeah. One
So
team
yeah, it's
that's
gonna be interesting to
undefeated
see what
right now.
happens in those.
It's also
Yeah,
good
yeah,
to see.
Chomedy Chodes. Yeah, they're 4-0.
Yeah, the 4-0. It's kind of it's good to it's good to see that there's at least one team left for undefeated. But like now they have a target on their back. I would
Yeah,
feel like every game it's like we need to
yeah,
win. We need
that's
to
it.
keep our undefeated
Exactly,
season. You know,
exactly.
so I think every game is a big game for them moving forward.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, let me ask you. So, I have my own opinion on this, but I want to get yours. Obviously, you want to go undefeated if you can, right? But when you have that loss, when you suffer a loss, would you rather be obviously not in the playoffs, but would you rather that be earlier in the season at the midway point or just before you enter the postseason?
I would like it in the midway because I would say like week 5, week 6. I think every
Okay.
team should have that loss. Um, because usually when you have that loss, it's either because you lose on the last play, or you guys just have a really bad game, or things aren't going well. When you go 10-0 and you go into the postseason and playoffs, whatever, like let's say if you get the first bye and then you kind of it's nice, 10-0, you're top of the seed. But when you don't have that loss, like you don't know the feeling of losing, you don't know the feeling of being behind, and when you end up do feeling it, let's just say in the playoffs, it's a whole different feeling. You don't have
Right.
that. You guys feel like your guys are on cloud nine. Everything's going so well, and when you finally do lose in playoffs, like sometimes you can't adapt to the situation. So I feel like when you do get that loss midway in the season, so you're 6-0 and you end up going 6-1, it's kind of a reality check to you and your team, and kind of say, okay, guys, listen, yeah, we're a good team. We were 6-0, we're 6-1. reality check. Like we could lose, we're not invincible, you know. So I feel like
Right, right.
I think in the midseason, I think in the midseason is pretty good. But even if you get at the end of the season too, let's say you guys go 9-1, 8-2, or 8-1, whatever. It just I feel like every team should have that loss just to kind of just to have that feeling and know how it feels like. Okay, you know what, we could lose. It's not like we're not invincible of not losing a game. So I feel like getting that loss is one thing I feel like every team should have. Again, there is some teams that do go 10-0 and end up not losing a game in the postseason as the playoffs. So there's that too. But I think it's just a reality check for you and your team to kind of realize that we're touchable. Like we are able to lose games, and
Right,
this is
right.
one game that we're going to learn from, and we're going to get better from it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. It's, so as you started saying that, right? You talked about, finishing undefeated and all that, and getting that bye. I mean, I couldn't help but think about Oregon, right? From the college football playoff this year, they were undefeated and they got spanked. They got slapped right in the punch right in the mouth, really, by
Yeah,
Ohio State in the playoffs, right? And people were like, "Oh, Oregon's a fraud." Multiple people I know were saying that in college football, and it kind of got proven true, right? For me personally, I like to kind of have that loss just before the playoffs start because I think
okay.
if you have it early on in the season, you correct it, and then you think your stuff doesn't stink afterwards as you march towards the postseason. I mean, obviously, you're not expecting perfection, but having that loss kind of sends that reminder that, hey, you know what, we're one loss away from having our season over, in the next week or the next 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, right when the playoffs start. I think getting that loss just before the playoffs, I think it kind of hardens you. I know a couple of teams. I know the last time we won a championship, that was definitely actually both times we won a championship. That was the case where we lost. I think it was back it was 10 weeks. We lost. I think it was week either 7 or 8 or maybe 9, and that kind of gave us that resolve. Okay, you know what? We got to get our act together because we thought we were flying high. Yeah, we got beat by a team who we think we're better than, and that could happen in the playoffs, right? So you got to kind of get your act together and get it quick. So for me personally, I prefer kind of towards the end of the season just to make sure everybody's on point and everybody's locked in for the dance.
Yeah, exactly. So I would completely agree with that. All right, so let's go
Cool.
five B.
Actually, no. So I just want to say one thing about this division here. A big matchup is coming up this coming Sunday. The Ducks, who are 3-0, they're taking on the Crasho Boys, who right now who lead the division at 4-1. That's going to be this coming Sunday at College Saint Jean Vianney. That's gonna be a good matchup. And tonight in Saint Laurent, so I'll be there to watch this game. It's gonna be the Gooners against Dragon Magic. Gooners right now 4-0. They're undefeated. They're taking on Dragon Magic. We're 3-1-1. So that's going to be a game I'm going to make sure to keep my eyes on tonight at Saint Laurent. So some big games, obviously, in this division coming up.
Yeah, especially Gooners are 4-0, right? So Ducks,
Yeah, that's
as
it.
I
That's
said
it.
before, the Gooners, Ducks, Demons, you guys all have a target on your back, as we always say.
Mm-hmm.
No one likes to see a
Yep.
team undefeated as well, right? Everyone wants to see a team lose,
Yeah, not at all.
especially when you're playing against them. It's like you feel like it's pride, even if you guys are 2-7, and your last game is versus a team that's undefeated. You want to beat them, right? You want to kind of end their season. You want
Yeah,
not end their
yeah,
season. You want to
yeah.
you want to stop their undefeated season. I think it's the same thing with football too. You know, when you see those, I think the Patriots went undefeated in like 2000. It's the year that they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, to the Giants. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When the Giants were 10-6 and Patriots were 16-0, I think it was. And anyways, it's like
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that. I'm not. Yeah, I just know the Giants weren't a good
Yeah.
team. They were at like the bottom of the pack, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. And the guy had that crazy catch on his head, and it was kind
Yeah,
of
David
like,
Tyree. Yep.
yeah, it was one of. But yeah, so that's not what I'm trying to say is that when you're undefeated, you have a target on your back. You might not know it, but you do. Doesn't matter who you play. The guys that do see there's a lot of guys that do check standings. They do check the stats. They do check to see who's undefeated. And trust me, if they're able to beat a team that's undefeated, it makes them feel pretty good about themselves because they're like, oh yeah, this team is 8-0, but we beat them. Like we're pretty a good team if we beat the team that's 8-0. So just goes to show
Yeah.
a team that's undefeated always has a target on their back.
That's true. Yeah, you're talking about the 2007 season where the Giants knocked off the pass in the Super Bowl. Okay, so let's go to 5A here. Yep. So a 5A, pretty interesting. So the Fina Devils were in first place for the last couple of weeks. Now they got bumped out. The old Pats now lead the Division 5A. They're the old Pats are the team in first place. They're coming off of a 19-7 victory over Orange Crush. That was this past Wednesday, actually, at Stady Bears. So congrats to the old Pats. They're sitting in first right now. They're taking on Ambush. Not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. So they have a bye this week. They're back in action against Ambush. Looking at the rest of the schedule here for 5A. Tonight, there's a couple games going on. So no flags given against the Pigeons in Chateauguay tonight at 10. Also in Chateauguay, also at 10 o'clock. It's Deep Shots against Super Troopers. And then Wednesday in Laval, it's Reborn Prospects against Merchants. So a lot of big games in terms of the standings. I'm really looking forward to that Pigeons no flags given game tonight in Chateauguay. I talked about the Pigeons a couple weeks ago. I mean, they're a team, they're explosive offense, but no flags given. I had a chance to see no flags given actually last Wednesday in Laval. This is a team with a lot of size and a lot of speed. They're coming in at 4-1. So two really good teams in Division 5A are going to be going head to head tonight. So it should be a good game.
Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good game.
Anything else
Like
for
Super
5A?
Pigeons. Not exactly. Not that I see Deep Shots versus Super Troopers. No, not
Actually,
exactly.
you know
Just
what?
the fact. So go.
As I say, is that deep shots against the Super Troopers game again. That's tonight, Chateauguay. I want to see if the Super Troopers could stop deep shots from taking those deep shots. Because the last time I saw Super Troopers, again, I got a couple buddies on the team and they're a good group of guys, but they were giving up a lot of plays deep. So they're really going to get on their horses and make sure they stop the deep ball. They have one of the best rushers and Zach Albert's Gill there rushing the quarterback, but he can't do anything if the quarterback's getting rid of the ball quickly, within 2 to 3 seconds and just chucking it up. So the back end for that Super Troopers defense is going to have to come up big tonight if they want to get the win over deep shots.
Yep. Exactly. All right. Let's go.
Okay. 4B.
For B. Yeah.
All right.
Schedule. All right.
Yeah, so looking at 4B right now.
Yeah. So I did I see this game? Yeah. So yeah, I was on field two. So for one Diesel, right, still undefeated team.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about before. No reason why they should be in Division Four right now. They definitely should be a four. They definitely should be a Division Three team, especially the way
Yep.
they play. Um, we've talked about before. Right now they're 6-0.
Yep.
Um, I think this is one of the teams they're going to go undefeated. They actually played. I actually saw them play Team Sexy. I'm not sure if we talked about this on Wednesday. Maybe I saw them
Yeah, we
playing
mentioned
Team
it. We
Sexy.
mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw them as we said before. I saw them play Team Sexy. Team Sexy actually tied the game, and then when
Okay.
Diesel came back and they ended up scoring and they ended up winning. So it
Okay.
was different between Game of Throws. They kind of just dominated the whole game from start to finish. The score was 42-24, but they kind of when Diesel kind of let them score. Like I let them score like at one point it was to a point where like the defense wasn't really as playing as much, but the game was kind of out of hand early on.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so again, 6-0. Like before halftime, as I said, it was before halftime. It was 30-6 at halftime. So it came to the point when you're up by 24 points, you kind of let go of the pedal a bit, and you kind of let them do a bit of more stuff that you wouldn't let them do, and you kind of relax. You're
Right.
kind of chilling. You're up by
Right.
that many points. It kind of goes to
Yeah.
show like they scored 30 the first half and they scored 12, and then Game of Thrones scores 6 and they scored 18. So that usually happens when you're up by that much. You kind of lay back a bit, you kind of chill, you kind of let more worse things happen on your defense, but it's normal. So that's the game that I saw. Moving forward, Monday right now we have Mofos versus the Chosen Ones. We have
Yeah.
Tua Army versus the Coconuts, and we have the West Island Boys versus Cast the 12. So those are the games that are coming up. Any of those games you find are going to be interesting?
Um, I want to say, uh, Tua Army. Well, actually, West Island Boys and Cast of 12. Cast of 12 sitting at 2-2 right now. We talked about the struggles of West Island Boys the last couple of weeks. I mean, this is a team who, along with Win Diesel, I thought would be competing for a championship. So right now, both teams sit at 2-2. And looking at the West Island Boys, again, they're coming off of two straight losses, but they haven't played since January 26th. So hopefully a little time off now, right, has given them a chance to kind of catch their breath and just kind of reassess what's going on. And they're a veteran squad. I expect them to bounce back. So yeah, that game again, West Island Boys and Cast at 12 should be an interesting one. The Chosen Ones and Mofos, I'm intrigued by this game. I've had a chance to see the Chosen Ones once, and actually I'll be the scorekeeper in their game. Looking at it right here, so I'll be scorekeeper in the game tonight. Actually, so yeah, I will be the scorekeeper for Mofos against the Chosen Ones. So I'm interested in seeing that game because the Mofos, they've shown, except for the first 2 weeks of the season where they struggled to score points, the last 2 weeks they put up 26 and they put up 29. So their offense is getting better. First week they put up 12, second week nothing. Well, second week I believe was a forfeit, so that doesn't really count. So first week they put up 12, but since then they put up 26 and 29. So this is a team that needs some wins, and their offense is showing up to the party. So let's see if they could show up again today. I'm hoping they will. Again, they're 0-4, looking for their first W of the season. So I think that game, again, like I said, Mofos and Chosen Ones is going to be a good one. So I'm going to go back to your point there for a second about Win Diesel. So their quarterback, Will Seabag, is a buddy of mine. He messaged me over the weekend. And so he listened to the podcast, right, as a lot of players do. And he's like, oh, I wish I had seen this as motivation before the game. So they came out, obviously they got the W like we talked about. He's like, oh, never doubt us and so on and so forth. Obviously in good fun, nothing disrespectful or anything. And that's the first response I had to him, just like you said, is you guys shouldn't be in Div 4, let alone Division 4B. So, yeah. And then he kind of shut up after that. But it was funny. He knows what it is, right? He knows the deal. Credit to those guys for being able to get into that lower division, especially with him as a quarterback. Enjoy it now because it's over after this season. But yeah, anyways, like I said, so some big games coming up tonight in this division, Division 4B. I'm excited to keep that game tonight between the Chosen Ones and the Mofos. When we meet up next time, I'll let you know what I saw. And good luck to both teams tonight.
All right, let's go to
So go to 4A. So looking at 4A. Yeah, so Penetrator still 5-0, and Speed Academy 4-0. That does it for undefeated teams. Yeah, this is an interesting division. I mean, like the competition is pretty high, right? And this is like that kind of line you draw in the sand, right? Like, okay, we're in 4A. We chose not to go in Division 3 for whatever reason the case may be, or maybe just because you fit into 4A. But there's a lot of talent in this division. I mean, looking at the matchups that we have going on right now, two games going on tonight. One at College Saint Jean Vianney.
yeah.
Blue Balls against Nighthawks. Nighthawks, again, we talked about they've struggled, so we'll have to see if they can get into the win column, or will Blue Balls do it? We'll have to wait and see. Kung Pao against Voodoo. That's a game going on at Statty Bear tonight. So this should be interesting. So we talked about again the Nighthawks 0-3, Voodoo 0-3, Blue Balls 0-4. Right. So I mean, those are three teams right there that definitely need to get into the win column because, like, again, you can't keep losing all the time, right? I mean, let's be honest. The playoffs, and yeah, Kung Pao is 2-1, so Kung Pao has a winning record, but nothing to write home about. Only at 2-1. So again, all four teams are hungry for a win. So we're gonna have to see what happens tonight. Again, call the Saint Jean Vianney and Stady Bear first being home for Blue Balls and Nighthawks, the Saint Jean Vianney, and then Kung Pao and Voodoo at Stady Bear. So again, teams needing to get a W, and three of those four teams looking to get their first W of the season. So we'll have to see what happens in those games. I know this Saturday we got the Goons and Blue Balls, CRA Bombers and Bandits, Speed Academy and Smoking Guns. So a lot of big matches between some of the top teams in the division as well.
Yeah,
Should be interesting.
Something to talk about for next week after that happens. Also, as we said, as you were talking about, Blue Balls is playing Nighthawks. So yeah, Blue Balls is playing Nighthawks. So right, so that's two teams that don't have a win. So we're gonna be one closer. We're gonna be one step closer for every team to have a win in the season, right? Because that's something we talked about. It's not the best when you finish 0-10. So unless it's a tie, There's gonna be
Yeah,
one more team that has that has a win in their season.
yeah. Who
So
you know? So since it's just me and you on this, who you picking right now? Nighthawks or Blue Balls? Who do you got?
right now, Nighthawks, 50 blue balls. I would have to go with Nighthawks. They're 0-3. They've only allowed 80 points in 3 games, so they're averaging about 26.5 points per game. It's not that
Mm-hmm.
bad. They scored 50, so that means they're scoring about 17 points per game, 16 and a half points per game.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's not too bad a ratio. Blue Balls have scored 80 points. They allowed 146. So that means they're allowing about 30 points, 36 and 90. Well, no, actually, no, they're allowing more than that. They're allowing 40, 80. Yeah, no, 37 and a half, I think. I don't feel like doing math too much there, but they're allowing about like 37 points, 38 points per game, So the difference
right.
between 26, 37 is a big jump, and they're only scoring
Yeah.
20 points. So um, I feel like Nighthawks have a better chance because I think their defense are going to get a bit more stops that they're going to need, and they're going to be able to score a bit more points in the blue balls. How about
Okay,
you?
okay. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna pick the Nighthawks as well. You know what? Because you're picking the Nighthawks, I'll go with Blue Balls. Then it's fine. I'm gonna go with Blue Balls. I'm pulling for these guys to get the upset here. Nighthawks, they have, I think on paper they have the better team. I've seen them play multiple times throughout the years. It's just they kind of get in their own way sometimes with mistakes. So I'm thinking maybe Blue Balls could capitalize on one of them late in the game and get a late either turnover or late touchdown to come out of there with a W. So I'm picking Blue Balls. Voodoo and Kung Pao, I was looking at him. I mean, Frank K, veteran quarterback. He's been in the league, I think, longer than almost everybody. Leading Voodoo. Again, they're looking for their first W. Kung Pao, better record there, 2-1. I think at the roster, Kung Pao's roster is just a lot better than Voodoo. I wanted to go with Voodoo with the upset because they're a veteran squad, but I'm going to pick Kung Pao to get the W tonight at Statty Bear.
Yeah, I would go. I would go the same thing. I would go with Compound too. It's a veteran team. It's kind of weird to see these guys playing in this
Yeah, some of the
division.
guys on
But
their team was like, wow. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of guys that play for
Yeah.
like Got Skill.
Fit
They
in.
have a mixture, and they probably have some guys
Mm-hmm.
that just kind of started playing in the lower division. That's the reason why they're there. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would have to go with them. I would have to go with Kong
Okay.
Pao too as well. All right,
Okay, cool.
Division 3.
D3. Yeah, Idaho U the Pimps still 5-0. Beer Belly Brigade 3-0 still. Le Verge full 3-0, 2-0 backfield penetration. So now it's getting to that weird, that kind of wanky part of the schedule where some teams will play 5 games and other teams will play like two. So I mean, that's whatever the scheduling is. What the scheduling is. I mean, a lot of players play on different teams, so I mean, it's definitely not easy to do. Shout out to my former teammate at Concordia, Chief. He's the guy that does the schedule. I know it's a pain. It's hard. Again, more players, more teams every year, but again, I always think it's weird sometimes you see a team that just played 5 games and a team just played one or two, but it is what it is. Three big matchups tonight. Le Malud against AF1, which is Air Force One. Southsiders, B-Ballers, and Arush against Beer Belly Brigade. That last one, Arush against Beer Belly Brigade, is the game I'm looking forward to the most. I had a chance to play against both teams in the Fall Cup this past season. Both teams are fast. Both teams are athletic. They had a couple of guys with some size too, and they didn't mind getting a little rough, which I could always appreciate. That's fine by me. And then we have Fort French Schlong this Wednesday in Laval. I'll be scorekeeping that game, taking on at 9:15, taking on the Nomads. So that should be a decent game. Yeah, so 4 big games yet to be played here in week 6. I know Saturday we have Prodigy against Air Force One, and a slew of games on Sunday. What stands out to you? What are you looking at here in Division 3?
So Division 3 is pretty open. As I said before, we still got 3 teams that are 4 teams that are undefeated, but Backfield Penetration hasn't played a game in a while. Yeah, they haven't played a game in a while. But we still have 4 teams undefeated. So as I said, it's always nice. I like to see teams undefeated. I also like to see teams that get a win. So it's like a little yin and a yang. Um, you were talking about. I'm just gonna pull up the schedule.
And that's a big win Yeah, Idaho Ute Pimps, like I said, they're sorry, Idaho Ida Pimps. That's for Division 3. Big win, not this past Sunday, Saturday, but the Saturday before, February
Yeah,
1st against Barbecue
yeah,
Chicken.
yeah. So Backfield Federation dropped 63 points, which is actually this Saturday. They're actually on my field. I didn't realize how much points they even scored. I think I kind of like lost track. But yeah, they scored 63 versus Big Fat Bat. They scored 42.
Yeah, yeah,
We have also have a high scoring thing of underdogs that scored 51, which is pretty good. But yeah, I would say Bear Belly Brigade. The same thing you said. They're playing a rush. That's gonna be a really good game. I'm
yeah.
curious to see if Beer Belly is going to go 4-0. To be honest with you, I'm surprised that they're 3-0 right now. Not surprised, but I'm happy that they're 3-0. But I want to know if this is like if they're just they've gone lucky as false kings, or are they the real big deal this year? 3-0 is still there's still 7 games during the
Right.
season, so there's still a lot of football left, but as for
Yeah.
a team that usually goes 1-9 and 2-8 in a lot of the divisions that they do play in, especially for Division 3, because they've had seasons where they went 2-8 or 3-7, where they haven't won that many games. The fact that they're 3-0, I feel like it's something to be happy about, because right now it's probably gonna be
Yeah.
one of their best seasons that they had. But I'm curious to know if they're true kings or are they false kings. So that's something that kind of gets my
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting again. They're taking on Arusha. Arusha's 2-2 right now. I mean, looking at Beer Belly Brigade, I mean, listen, they've gotten wins, right? I mean, they're 3-0. It's nothing to sneeze at. But I mean, looking at some of the teams that they've beaten, they knocked off, yeah, Air Force One, I believe. Yeah, Air Force One, 28-27, Prodigy 33-6, and then Les Penguins 32-14. So looking at those three teams again, AF1, Prodigy, and Les Penguins. AF1 is 0-4, Prodigy 0-3, Les Penguins 2-4. So they haven't beat a team with a winning record yet. So that might speak to your point about them being false kings. But again, you can only beat the teams who are on your schedule. So I guess that is one way to look at it. But yeah, they're going to start to get some heavier competition. Like I said, they're playing Arush. Arush is 2-2. Looking at Flag Fools 2.0, I mean they're 1-3, so that's another team with a losing record. And if it's the B Ballers right now 1-3. Yeah, so maybe they have the luxury right now of playing an easier schedule. They have too easy for us. After that, they have Blue Chips, Stoic, so that'd be big game, and then Barbecue Chicken, which would be a massive game. So this the end of season with like three veteran teams, right, and teams at least that don't have losing records in Blue Chips, is the Stoics and Barbecue Chicken. So we'll see with Triple B, Beer Belly Brigade. We'll see if they're the real deal or not
hmm
later in the season, right? Because March and April are going to be a lot tougher for them. Pardon me, than January and February have been so far.
Yeah. All right. So let's
All
go
right,
Division 2.
Division 2. All right, D2. So yeah, the Dirty Birds, I believe, are still sitting on top, 5-0 record. So I think
Or
they've now started to clearly separate themselves as the best team in that division. I actually have an article I'm going to be writing. I started it yesterday. I started it Saturday. This has been a busy weekend doing broadcasts and obviously last night the Super Bowl. The Division 2 article will be out tomorrow, so pretty much the time you get this episode, the article will be out. I'm going to work on it a bit more tonight after scorekeeping, so I'm going to try to have it out either late tonight or tomorrow morning. Free where I look at the teams in the bottom half of the rankings in Division 2. I'm talking about obviously No Regard, Mangoose, KGP, and some other teams in there as well. So like I said, two undefeated teams left now. Dirty Birds 5-0 and Fins up 3-0.
mhm.
Um, so I'm just trying to get the schedule up here at the same time. Yeah. So yeah, looking at the schedule right now in terms of games left to be played. So there's a
There's
game
just one
yesterday,
left.
one stop. Yeah, and annihilate. Well, it did annihilate you guys, but I mean, they beat you guys. You put a 50 burger up on you guys, 53-38. 38 points is impressive, but you gave up 53. And then, yeah, Silent Ticklers against Vultures coming up Wednesday in Laval. So I'll try to watch that game while I'm scorekeeping. Saturday, we have Cush and Corinthians 13 against ECW. That's actually a match I'm looking forward to. Mangoose looks to finally get into the win column. I don't like the chances of they're taking on Idaho U the Pimps. Same thing for No Regard. No Regard looking for their first W of the season next Wednesday. They're taking on Fins Up. So I don't like the chances for No Regard and Mangoose. But again, you have to go onto the field and play the games. Quickly, what was your take on one step? Again, that's my team. That's my pick to win it all. You had a chance to see them face to face last yesterday afternoon. What was your opinion?
They're a solid group of guys.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I think I've been saying this a lot, but at halftime it was a close game. They ended up scoring a touchdown with, I think, 19 seconds, which kind of was like the turning point. It was 19-20. What we just scored. It was 19-20. We just scored. We went up by one, and then they ended up scoring with 19 seconds, and then they went up went up by five, I think it was, and then after that, we got the ball back. Second half, got stopped. They made a great defensive stop, and then they went back on offense. And they kind of did whatever they wanted to do to us. We had them in a couple of fourth down situations, but they ended up getting the first, and they didn't look back. They just kept scoring. Anytime we needed to get that one stop to change like the turn side of the game, and we didn't get it. And all of a sudden, they had 53 points, and we only had 38, and was an error lost by us.
What do you think, in your opinion, is the not say the best, but what's the one thing you think you could take away from that team? Like you could stop on their offense because again they do have a powerful offense. Like, what's the one thing you see them when they line up? You're like, okay, we could stop that. Like if we're playing our A game, we could definitely stop that.
So one thing about their team is that they like to go deep, but the quarterback has a very good arm where he's able to throw the ball on like his back foot a good like 30, 40 yards, which a lot of quarterbacks can't do. It was to the point is that we had our rusher, Ethan, probably one of the best rushers right now, rushing him. And there's a lot of point where he was kind of like he would take away his first reads, and then it would like his guys would kind of like slowly creep up where they would have maybe two or three guys deep and kind of just kind of sitting there, and he would literally throw the ball. I think he had maybe 4 or 5 passes where he would literally throw the ball on one foot, and it would just go over our heads, and it was a touchdown. And I was just like, it's kind of weird how he's able to throw the ball off of one foot like that. So it's something where if you decide to keep your guys deep and kind of let them like stay deep, like don't come down. That doesn't matter in a situation where the rush might get him. Don't come like he's gonna get the ball over your head anyways. Like don't think because he's on his one foot, the ball's gonna sail down and you're gonna get an easy interception. If you decide to do that, the ball's gonna go over your head.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see you speaking of Michael Caparelli, a solid quarterback. Yeah, I had a chance to play against him in the fall season, first game of the year. No, sorry, in the summer season actually. I remember we tied him outdoors in Laval, and like I saw it. He was throwing a lot of passes off his back foot, but like I said, he has a rocket for an arm, kind of that Patrick Mahomes arm. He doesn't have to have his feet set completely. He can just launch it, and he has the receivers obviously that can make plays on it for one stop.
Yeah,
it's interesting to see what happens. I mean, yeah. Sorry?
No, solid group guys. You have to stay deep. You can't decide to bring guys down. The ball's not going to get there. The ball's going to go over your head, and they're going to keep scoring touchdowns, and that's how they score 50 points on us. Okay. A question for you. So let's say out of the bottom teams right now, you have KGP, you have Mongoose, you have No Regard, right? Mm-hmm. And then on the top, you have Vultures, ECW, Infantry, Diamond Bougie, Shake and Bake. So a lot of guys that are 2-0, 2-2, 2-3, 1-2, around those lines. Do you see any of the bottom teams making a push and coming into that playoff spot, or do you think it's going to we're going to end the season and it's going to be those are in the bottom 3 teams, and the rest of the teams are going to make playoffs?
I mean, that's kind of what I'm going to be writing about in my article. To be honest with you, I don't want to give too many spoilers from my article, but I do think when the season is said and done that the 3 teams who are in last, I'm predicting at least I think all 3 of them will at least get 1 W this season. Where those W's come, you're gonna have to read the article again. I'll have that out for everybody tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
And KGP actually has 1 win already. I actually scored that win. So I mean, they're off the slide. So it's just Mangoose and No Regard who have no wins, but I'll be talking about some of the other bottom teams as well, in addition to Mangoose, No Regard, and KGP.
Okay.
Okay, so let's hop over to Division One
Yeah.
right
Sorry
now.
about
So
trying.
anyways, some big matchups here. Nothing going on tonight, but Wednesday, a couple big ones. Blessed against Party Crashers at Stady Bear. And then in Laval, it's going to be, yeah, running twice against the Braves, right? So your squad taking on the Braves. That's going to be a must watch game. I think Wednesday in Laval. I'll have a chance to watch that game. It's going to be the field right next to mine where I score keep. So be making sure to try and keep an eye on that one. What stands out to you in the next coming week with Division Two, Division One? Sorry,
Well, Lamar, Lemire,
Luminaire.
Royal, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, they're 4-0, right? So that's kind of surprising. They had a huge win versus Flagmois. I saw the game on the other side. I believe they're playing in. They played in. But yeah, they played Brossard. They played versus us, and at in the afternoon, and after that they had to play versus Flagmois late at night.
Yep.
So the fact that they got a impressive win, the score, just gonna pull it up.
Yeah.
The score is
42-26 both games.
42, yeah, 42-26, and then 42-26 again, right? So two big wins for
Mhm.
them. Flagmois is also a team that's super competitive. So the fact that they're able to beat them by double digits kind of just shows that these guys are the real deal. 130 points for, 99 against. Their defense is doing a great job, only allowing about 25 points per game. And you might think, oh, okay, 25 points is it's a lot of points, but in Division One team score, right? You kind of try to bang off getting a turnover in Division One, and the points the games are usually super high. So the fact that you're only allowing about 4 touchdowns per game is a pretty good thing to do. So that's something that's kind of super impressive. The fact that they're 4-0 right now and they're kind of just leading the division and they're winning every single game they had. They played Flagmois twice, right? And the first week
Yeah.
they beat them 21-20. And you probably would have thought that they probably reversed the roles and they would have made the game a bit closer, but instead they win again. So they get the tiebreak if ever they need it, and they get an impressive win, winning by 16
Yeah.
points.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely
How
an
about
impressive team for sure. An impressive team
anything?
for sure. I mean, sorry.
Anything speaking out to you other in the standings?
I mean, to be honest, no. I mean, again, like yeah, you talked about Royal Luminaire. I mean, yeah, I am surprised that they knocked off your team and Flag Sack 42-26. I mean, those are pretty not hugely lopsided scores, but I mean they're still pretty much decidedly on one side than the other. So again, they're the top team in the division, and it makes sense, right? I mean, they have a top three offense, right? The only team that score top two, really. The only team to score more than them actually is Flag
It's 8 o'clock.
It's gonna be interesting. Again, we talked about Blast a couple times now. Get 0-4. It's gonna be hard to see where they get their first W of the season. But I mean, I think right now the season is with the exception of the All Stars being 1-2, maybe your team being 1-4. Besides those two surprises, I think the season is kind of going at least to the midway point how we thought it would be. Party Crashers were in first. Now they're down to third. Well, tied for second, but they're technically in third with 6 points along with the Braves. Braves are
Yeah.
gonna make their push. Braves are gonna do what the Braves do. It is what it is, right? So now it's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of will it be Braves and Royal Luminaire in the finals, or will it be the field? We're gonna have to wait and see how the games unfold to find out the answer to that question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this Sunday we have All Stars and Flag One Sack at Stady Bear, so that should be a big one as well. Again, two veteran teams, two teams who are looking to start stacking some W's together as well. So I think that's going to be good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, so let's jump to Co-Ed 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do Co-Ed 3 quickly here. So looking at it right now, again, this fluid, anything 5-0, and balls and TDs 3-0. Everybody else has at least one loss. Looking at Kiss My A's, they're 3-1-1, so they're up there keeping up pace there with anything. Who again is sitting at 5-0 with 10 points, leading Co-Ed 3 right now. Only one team now. It's just Montreal Dragons now who are winless at 0-3. So I mean, I have to hopefully some better things are coming their way. And just looking at them right now, did a tough loss. The last game out actually a couple weeks ago now. It was all the way back on January 19th. They lost to Pick Artists by a score of 20 21-13. So they've had some time now to kind of get their act together. They have a huge opportunity for a win. Talking about the Montreal Dragons, they take on Gold Diggers. That's taking place this Wednesday. Actually, I'll be scorekeeping that game this Wednesday at Laval. I've had a chance to watch the Gold Diggers already. We talked about them on previous episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Gold Diggers are coming off of a huge win last Monday. They knocked off the Pick Artists 43-40. Wow. Okay, so two teams combining for 83 points. That's pretty impressive. If you would have told me the Gold Diggers would have scored 43 after week one, I would have said you're crazy. But I mean, hey, their offense, they're finding their rhythm. They're finding their vibe offensively. So I expect a good game now with this coming Wednesday between Gold Diggers and Montreal Dragons. It's set for a 10-15 start in the Dome at Laval. So I'll be the scorekeeper for that game. I'm excited about that one.
Nice. Big shout out to Vultures for getting their first win. It's
Yep,
good for
yep.
them.
Hmm.
I believe I did Ghost get their first win too as well. Or am I? No, so Vultures got their first win, and then no, yeah. So just no, just Vultures. Vultures was the bottom of the pack, so they got their first.
Yep.
They got their first win. So big shout out to them again. Big win, 52-14 versus Hot Wings. So they get an
Nice.
impressive win. Even though Hot Wings are 1-4, it's still nice. It's still nice to get a big win, first win of the season, and to score 52 points. It's
Exactly.
something to kind of show, like, okay, guys, we're back in business, you know. So that's
Yeah,
something.
that's exactly it. We talked about it before, right? As a veteran team, well, Vultures has a lot of veteran guys on the team. So again, a bit surprising that the record is what it is, but now it's kind of build on it, right? They have big tight ends. Yeah, tight ends coming up this Sunday. Shadagee. They got Dream Killers after that. They got Balls and TDs. So a couple big matchups coming up for Vultures. So let's see now if they can kind of carry the momentum from getting that W that you talked about, right? See if they can carry that
Mhm.
going forward now. Yeah, because
Yeah,
52 points is no matter who you're playing, 52 points is still 52 points. That's pretty impressive.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go to co-ed 2 right now. Yes, looking at co-ed 2 right here. I mean, like we said, last couple weeks, this is another division where it's it's a lot of fluidity, right? It's a lot of parity, right? Daycare 3-0, Tonics 4-0. Those are the only two teams that remain. Sorry, Team Rocket actually. Team Rocket is 2-0 as well. But again, so there's only three teams that are undefeated, and again, there are 22 teams in the division, so that's pretty good. Everybody except for the Westies have a win. So the Westies are still looking for the first W of the season, just trying to see what they did most recently. Um, the Westies are coming off of a 31-27 loss against Purple Blood last Wednesday at Stady Bear. So that's a heartbreaker right there, because especially for the Westies, right? The Westies, they've struggled on offense. They scored 19 week one, which isn't bad, then 8. Then they scored 18. Then they scored 6. So they had their best offensive output of the season, 27 again against Purple Blood, but again, they couldn't find a way to close the deal, unfortunately for them. So now up next for the Westies, they're playing this Sunday in the Stinger Dome. They're taking on Venom. So hopefully the Westies can get off the schneid, and then every single team in Co-Ed 2 will then have a win under their belts.
Yeah, that would be amazing to see because we said again, it's not fun. It's not fun having a season 0-10. You always want to get that
Yeah,
at least one or two wins in your season, so you feel like you have accomplished something.
yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, looking at this team here. Anything else that stands out to you in Co-Ed 2?
Um, just to see who's gonna win, who's gonna lose their first game first. Is it gonna be Tonics or is it gonna be Daycare or Team Rocket? Right? Because as I said before, these
Yeah.
are the three teams. Especially Tonics, probably gonna be one of the top teams. Right now they're 4-0, so they're right now they're one of the top teams. But going down the stretch, I feel like these are gonna be one of the top teams who are making a playoff push. Same thing with Daycare. And same thing with Team Rocket. You have these three teams. You have amazing athletes on both teams, female and male. So you have a lot of big names, a lot of known names as well. So I'm curious to see who's going to drop their first loss and end up being a part of the other pack, and who's going to continue winning games without having any losses. So that's something that's kind of speaking out to me.
Yeah, I can tell you right now. So, Team Rocket again, they're 2-0. They're taking on Crazy Frogs tonight at Stady Bear. But then
Okay.
Tonics and Team Rocket, they're battling next Monday night. So next Monday night at Stady Bear, it'll be Team
Okay,
Rocket
yeah.
and
So
Tonic.
yeah,
So yeah,
there's gonna
maybe
be
they'll both
so
be
one
still
one of them are
competitive.
gonna. If Team Rocket takes care of business with Crazy Frogs, then Team Rocket versus Tonics. If Tonics doesn't have any, do they play any games before the 17th?
Looking at it here, the schedule. No, no, the Tonics don't
No,
have
they
another game
don't.
until
They
the
do not.
17th.
So yeah,
And
all right. So one of these teams are gonna have to lose at one point.
I know we also have tonight in Stady Bears Daycare. So again, another undefeated team. They're taking on Block Party. Block Party's a decent team. I like them. That should actually be a pretty good game tonight. Last night in Chateauguay, we had yesterday afternoon. The Ghostbusters knocked off Who's Going to Carry the Boats 40-34. So that's a game that's actually closer than I expected. Who's going to carry the boats? Pardon me, I believe only have one win right now. So they almost made it two. So it's a pretty tight game. Yeah, ton of games this Sunday coming up in this division as well. So yeah, a lot of action coming up. And again, we said the biggest one that's going to stand out to us, besides the games going on tonight, of course, will be next Monday as Team Rocket takes on Tonics at Stady Bear. All right, so for this part of the show, so when I say bye to Quaysie, he has to take off. He has a play tonight. You have a game tonight.
Yeah, so I have two games tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So you have a couple games going on tonight, so you have to sign off. I want to stay on for the rest of the episode. We got a couple more divisions to cover, 5-10 minutes at the most. We'll be out of here. So Quasi, thanks for coming on tonight again, obviously, and again, don't forget to go on IG and go on Facebook and vote for our teams for who's going to win, or put your own team up there, or say we're crazy, or say we're geniuses when it comes to picking a fantasy flag football women's 2 team. So we're gonna jump right into co-ed 1 to finish off the co-ed divisions. Uh, yeah, so we have the merge 4-0, IG team still 3-0. 2 teams that are winless. Party Mix we've talked about, and Fit Squad we've talked about those a lot lately. So yeah, the merge right now, like I said, 4-0, right? So the record is indicative of the success that they had. They're coming off of a win over Fit Squad, 46-26, last Monday at Stady Bear. The merge have pass whooping coming up next, and then who's Mizzou. So 2 big games for the merge. So we're gonna have to wait and see if they could stay undefeated. Their next game will be next Monday, actually the 17th against pass whooping. So it's be interesting to see what happens coming out of that one. At the IG team, again, like I said, the 3-0 right now. So their IG team is coming off of a win. So a couple weeks ago now against Banana Stripe. They're off for a while. They're gonna have almost a month off. Their next game is next Wednesday, February 19th. They're taking on Easy Fun at Stady Bears. So it's gonna be interesting to see maybe if that layoff will have any effect on the IG team again, a team looking to remain undefeated on the regular season. Just looking at the schedule now for the rest of the division. Just trying to see if there's anything else going on in terms of games tonight or games in the very near future, i.e., tomorrow or Wednesday. Okay, so looking at it here. So yeah, tonight at Stady Bears, Dominoes against the Monarchs. That's going to be a really good game. That's going to be my pick for game of the week. Like I said, pass whooping against Plenty of Fish. That's also taking place tonight at Stady Bear. So both games will be at Stady Bear. 9 p.m. start for Dominoes and Monarchs, and then 11 p.m. start for Pass Whoop and Plenty of Fish. And then this Wednesday at Stady Bear, it'll be Easy Fun against Party Mix. So we talked about before, right? Party Mix still 0-4 for the season, looking for their first W. They're taking on Easy Fun, so that should be a game worth checking out. Easy Fun right now 1-3. So either Party Mix is going to be 1-3, or they're going to be 0-4, or Party Mix will be 2-3 or 1-4. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Let's make the jump over now to women's 1. So we talked about women's 2. Obviously, we had the All Star or Fantasy All Star predictions. We talked about the upcoming schedule. So looking at the ladies now in the top division, looking at the schedule right here. For women's 1. So we have Saturday night, we saw Les Bleus knock off Cayenne. So a bit of a surprise there. Cayenne now, they knocked them off 24-25. So definitely a game that went down to the wire. So a little late on the schedule. This week and next week is a little light. So Wednesday night at Stady Bear, we have the Red Wings taking on Sub-Zero. And then a rematch with both teams in what's considered a Week 7 game this coming Sunday. It'll be Sub-Zero taking on the Red Wings again. So obviously Sub-Zero, one of the top teams. Some people would say the top team in all women's flag football, not just in this province, but in this country and the world, perhaps. Red Wings 0-4 right now. They are struggling offensively. Only 43 points scored. They've scored 18 in week one, but since then they scored 0 points, 13, and then 12. So it's not going in the right direction offensively. I don't know if Sub-Zero is a team that the Red Wings want to try to get their offense fixed against. But I mean, again, you have to go out and play the game. So here's best of luck to the Red Wings. Hopefully they could, if they can't pull off the upset, hopefully they could at least get some positive momentum as they reach forward and go forward, pardon me, to the second half of the season, because they finish with Cayenne, Les Bleus, Cayenne again, and then Hebrew. So wins might be hard to come by for the Red Wings, but again, it's about building for the future. And again, this is their first season here in FPF for most of these players. So you want to at least use this as a learning experience to go forward in the future. Let's hop over now to the 5v5 as we try to wrap things up here in the next couple minutes. So looking at recreational, the schedule right now. So waiting for that to load. So again, this is another division. Again, some of the best competition you're going to see in all of FPF does play in this division right here. Okay, so looking at it, yeah, so Green Monsters 4-1, Mercenaries 4-1. So those two teams are in first place, and you have Trapstar 5. So Trapstar 5s are the only undefeated team, but they're sitting at 2-0. So I guess you could say a bit by default. I mean, it's not their fault. They play whoever's on the schedule when they're scheduled to play them, so you can't blame them. They're coming off a big W against the First Down Sniffers last Monday down at Chattagee. So coming up, they're off this week. So coming up next Monday, February 17th, at Collège Saint-Jean-Vianney, is going to be Trapstar 5s against Green Monsters. So that's going to be a huge game next week as we look forward in the schedule and as we try to see what's going to happen in the standings. Games going on this week here. First Down Sniffers against Mercenaries. So that's taking place tonight at Collège Saint-Jean-Vianney. So we talked about Maya DeFazio before, her dad Gino, they'll all be there for that one. Pass Holes taking on Zero. That's going to be Wednesday at Stade Bear. So that should be an interesting matchup. Again, two teams that are looking for a win. Just looking at Zero right now. Zero has they're 0-5 right now, so they're definitely hungry, I should say, pardon me, for their first W of the season. This is a problem when you work with kids all day. You say words like hungry. Anyways, Pass Holes, looking at them, they're 0-4. So two teams hungry, starving actually for a victory, and Zero and Pass Holes. So good luck to both teams as they try to get their first W of the campaign. Let's jump now to the intermediate division here in FPF for 5v5. Just waiting for the standings to load up and the schedule as well here. Again, so we're just moving up. We started with recreational. Now we're going to intermediate. Okay, so Blue Dry 7.1, 3-0. Primal 3-0. I think we mentioned those guys last time we met. Quebec U16B 0-2. CTE 0-2. Gamblers Anonymous 0-3. So the three teams sitting at the bottom of the division. Blue Dry 7-1. Blue Dry 7.1. They're tied for first with Primal, both with 6 points each. As I mentioned, they're both 3-0. Looking at the schedule this coming week, so we have Primal this coming Sunday. So there's no games until the weekend. So Primal this coming Sunday takes on Quebec U16A. And then U16A actually has a game, literally 1 hour later. So they're both at the Stinger Dome. So they start with Primal, and then Quebec U16A also plays CTE. So both those games at the Stinger Dome. First one at 6 o'clock, then second one at 7 o'clock. Also this coming Sunday at the Stinger Dome on Field B at 9 p.m. It's Five Guys taking on Quebec U16B. So both Quebec U16 teams are busy and in action this coming Sunday. We have Blue Dry 7.1 against the X-Men. So that'll be a big game coming up next Monday at Stade Bear, 10 o'clock start for that one. And then the final game of week 7 will be CTE taking on Gamblers Anonymous. That'll be at Collège Saint-Jean-Vianney. That'll be next Monday, 11 p.m. start for that one. So definitely a little late. But again, two teams in CTE and Gamblers Anonymous right now looking for W's. We talked about those are two of the three teams without a win this season. So good luck to those teams as they try to get a win. Maybe they get a tie, so at least both teams can walk away with a point. Ties are horrible, I know. So we'll see what happens. So moving now to the final division here tonight, men's 5v5 competitive. The best of the best in the 5v5 competition here in Flag Plus Football. Looking at the schedule right now. So when waiting for the schedule, look at the standings. Flymois Sac 3-0, Braves 2-1, Vengeance 2-1, Rules 2-2, Party Throwers 2-2, Jameson's 1-2, Team Quebec under 18A 1-2, and Team Quebec under 18B 0-2. So one winless team remaining here in men's competitive 5v5. Now, big game tonight: Braves against Rules. That's taking place at Stade Bears, so that'll be a 10 o'clock start for that one. So I talked about the Braves right now. It's tied for second with Vengeance, both with a 4-1 record. And actually, they're tied with points with Rules. So all three of those teams, well, specifically the Braves and Rules, with 4 points. So the winner of that game will have sole possession of second and perhaps even catch Flymois Sac for first, because Flymois Sac with a 3-1 record, they have 6 points. So again, Braves and Rules, the winner of that game, will at least have a share of first. This Saturday we have Team Quebec under 18B taking on Vengeance. So that'll be at Brassard at Collège Saint-Jean-Vianney. This coming Sunday we have Rules in action again against Flymois Sac. So for Rules, they have the Braves and Flymois Sac. So basically the two of the top teams in this division. So big opportunity for Rules to climb the standings and potentially have sole possession of first place. And obviously a chance for Flymois Sac to extend their lead in first. And the Jamesons against Team Quebec under 18A. That's the last game for week 7. That'll be next Sunday at Stade Bears. So a ton of games, 4 games remaining over the next couple of days. The next 6 days, actually, will be 4 games. So, and those games will have the potential to shake up the standings. Right now, I talked about who's in what place. But again, the Braves have a chance for first. Rules has a chance for first. Flymois Sac has a chance to nail it down. So it's going to be interesting to see. Can Team Quebec U18B, can they get their first W of the season? But we're going to have to wait and see for that one, because again, they take on Vengeance this coming Saturday in Brassard. So that'll do it. All the men's divisions are covered. All the ladies are covered. 5v5 is covered. Don't forget, again, go online. Quaysie gave you his team for his all-star team for women's A. I'm giving you my all-star team. For women's 2, I should say. My apologies. Quaysie gave you his team for women's 2. I give you my all-star team for women's 2 as well. Next week, we will be doing women's 1. So you're going to see a lot of names like Sarah Parker and a ton of other names that we're going to be talking about. Sabrina Gervais, Tamara Boulanger, a lot of different players. He took Gigi, so I was thinking we were going to kind of save Gigi, but no, she's not playing women's 1, so my apologies. Anyways, she should be. So a lot of good players were talked about today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, go on the Facebook channel, go on Instagram, tell us we're crazy, tell us we're super smart, you agree with us 100%. Maybe name some players who we didn't mention, because again, we decided on 8. In retrospect, maybe we should have done 10. There's a lot of other players we could have chose from to make our potential all-star teams. I'm not going to go through all the names here, so I don't want to leave anybody out. Unfortunately, I will if I go through only a couple of names. But this is the fun thing. It's something different we wanted to give you guys on the podcast. Instead of just talking about previous games or upcoming games and going through the standings. I mean, that's important too, but we want to get more engagement. We want to get you guys, the viewers, the fans, the players, the coaches, the ex-players, the ex-coaches. We want to get you guys involved and interested. So again, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, and feel free to add on maybe some of your picks or tell us what you think of the picks we made. This has been the latest episode of the 5 Plus Football First and Goal podcast. Quaysie just departed a couple minutes ago, but I'm Brent. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Have a good night. And we hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl, by the way. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Listen, there's a butt kicking. The Eagles kick butt. It is what it is. Their front four get after Pat Mahomes. That's what you have to do to beat them. I'm a Niners fan. It breaks my heart that my D-line couldn't do the same thing last year or a couple years ago. But it is what it is. Congrats to the Eagles. There's a lot of Eagles fans out there in the FPF community. Some of you guys are actual real Eagles fans. Some of you guys are bandwagon jumpers. But again, a win's a win. Congrats to the Eagles and their fans on knocking off Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs as they tried to go for that 3-piece. So God, we don't have to see Taylor Swift or Kelsey or Mahomes or anybody for a while from the Chiefs. Anyways, this has again been the episode of the 5 Plus Football First and Goal podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Peace. My wife, you stabbed me in the back. Sounding like the